Hey guys, DeathClock Dave here, and welcome to another Wednesday night live stream battle report recap. If you're enjoying the content that we're creating, please go ahead and hit like on that video, subscribe to the channel. You can follow us on Facebook by searching for DeathClock Dave, and we also watch the Facebook comments and the YouTube comments if you guys have any questions or concerns about the match, or if perhaps we did something incorrectly or we misplayed something. So just be sure to let us know there. So this evening we had Birch playing as Cygnar. Chris, what was your pairing this evening?
My pairing was Nemo3 and Striker 2, both in heavy metal.
All right, and my pairing was some new fancy stuff, so I decided to give Legion a whirl. So my pairing was a Thagrosh1 in Children of the Dragon and Animag in Primal Terror. So just trying out some of the new stuff. I quite like Azrael and all of the fun medium base stuff with Animag and how much damage she can do. So, Chris, what did you pick for your pairing this evening?
Well, I picked Nemo3 after viewing both of the lists there. I decided that was the best drop into both, because one was dude spam, essentially. Nemo likes dude spam, and the other one...
Not just dude spam, high armor dude spam.
High armor dude spam.
Which Nemo also doesn't care about.
Nope, he will eat through it no matter what. And then I looked at the other list, and I played into Thagrosh1 a few times now, so I knew what was coming, and I was prepared for it.
All right. So I picked Thagrosh1. I looked at his stuff, and I thought, yeah, I was pretty sure he was going to pick Nemo and the Animag list. It was 3 units of War Spears and all the medium-based stuff. And on his feet turn, even the Electro Leaps are going to kill me, even with the strength buffs and stuff, or the armor buffs. So I knew I had to take Thagrosh. I knew it was definitely going to be an uphill battle. It was going to be quite likely that I was going to get shot off the table, so I was going to have to try and make use of terrain as much as possible, leverage Fog of War, and try to be out of threat ranges as much as possible. So we're playing Scenario 4, which is Breakdown. So we have 2 circular zones and a central rectangular zone. The rectangular zone is Warcaster, Warlock, Warbeast, Warjack, Battle Engine, and then the 2 circular zones are units, Warcaster, Warlock. So very, very little in terms of the actual scoring elements in this one. So it's going to force us to get in toward the center and will prevent any early scoring. So for terrain, bottom right of the screen, we have a house. To the left of that, we have a forest. Above that, we have another house in the middle of the zone. To the left of that, we have another forest. To the right of the house in the middle, we have a wall. Just above that, we have water. And above that, in the circular zone on the top, we have forest. And to the left of that, a hill. So, Chris, tell us about your deployment here.
So here I do my standard deployment that I like to do. It's just 2 striders on either end. Trying to keep Junior and Jakes off with a 1 flank, and then Nemo keeps all of his jacks nice and close. This allows me to do more of a pincer move and forces Dave to have to react.
Yes, and with the striders, they threat so far that you can put them on the flank, no problem. So, so looking at this, I'd been hoping that maybe the striders were going to be a bit more central. My initial plan with the Raptors was going to be to and you on the roll to go first. You rolled a 6, and even with my +1, I only got a 3. So you chose to go first, which I think is the right call to get in a good board position. So my initial plan was going to be to run the Raptors in a hard flank to try to get around behind and maybe start getting some poison shots at the stuff that actually cares about poison. So I did some dirtling around trying to figure out where I was going to put those. So in this match, the Angel, so the big wings, is the proxy for Azrael. So my Azrael model has not come in yet. So that's the one proxy in the army. You can see I end up putting the Raptors in the left flank. I've got Typhon beside that. I have the Swamp Gobbler Bellow crew in the front to try and get some cloud cover out so I can protect myself a little bit. I've got Hex Hunters that are going to be coming in my advanced deploy here. And then I've got Thagrosh just to the right of Azrael, Zuriel to the right of there. On the far right, that is that's Kralix. And I believe I've also got the Spell Martyr over there, and the whatchamacallit, I can't think of the name of this. So the Mist Speaker is in the back as well. So his plan was to be close-ish to Mr. Kralix to give him Eye of Sight to see through my own concealment. So I've got my Hex Hunters up there as well, advanced deployed. So and I believe now we're just pointing out what's in the army. And then I've got 3 Shepherds in the back as well, just to be following up with the beasts. And I picked this side of the table because I felt like it had more defensive terrain. I definitely should have leveraged it better, but I wanted the wall. I wanted to be able to try to hide behind things to prevent his shooting because he threats so far. So over to your first turn.
So my first turn, I know I have to be aggressive, just straight up. So basically I move everything up in a very threatening manner and force Dave to have to play the reaction game. Here I forgot power up because, you know, I just do things like that sometimes. So we start moving things up at this point here, getting things ready, get some that's elusive action, evasive action being brought out there. It just in case something gets happening that I don't see coming and Dynamo gets shot, he can move.
Yep.
So here I'm just getting things moved up, getting some things into position.
That's your Lancer.
That's my Lancer.
Running around the forest.
Yes.
Getting a spot for some juicy Force Hammer or Chain Blast or Chain Lightning.
Chain Lightning,
right? Yeah,
yes.
Gotcha.
So here we are, is moving things up, getting things behind the house to try to block line of sight, get things ready so I can start doing my traditional move here.
Yeah, and you've got the Firefly that just moved was on Jake's, and then the lighter color, the non-painted Firefly in the blue plastic is on Junior.
Yes, and the reason why I do that there is because Junior typically throws away his jack at some point, so
nice, there you go.
Just let that thing go.
Makes sense. Got some who did Arcane Shield go on?
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't gone yet, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So right here, Arcane Shield goes on to the top Strider there.
Yep.
So here I am pre-measuring to make sure we get it in.
Yep.
Bada bing, bada boom, and Arcane Shield. Nobody's ever heard of this spell before. Don't tell anybody about it.
Turns out Armor 22 Striders are a
with
thing.
repulsive.
Yeah, yes. They are repulsive. That's for sure. They are
repulsive. So here we are getting about move Nemo up. I figured not to charge this at this point here because I left just out of spell and then charge. So I just move up 5, and put the what was the other spell?
Electrify.
Electrify on the other one to make it armor 21.
Yeah. It's so armor. We got 21 on your right flank and 22 on your far left flank. So over to my turn. Just checking. His stuff threatens really far. Basically, if I move up much at all, I'm going to get shot. I believe the Striders threaten 19 inches. Dynamo is 16 inches, and so. Just looking where I'm going to have to put my stuff to try to make sure I'm outside of threat ranges as much as possible. I just need to try to mitigate what I lose when it comes to be his feet turn. So I move up Thagrosh, just making sure he's not in 19. I put up, what's it called, Draconic Blessing on Azrael for the strength bonus, putting his Thrown Spear to a lovely POW 19, which is glorious. I put up Fog of War because upping my already relatively high defense stuff, even more high defense is great. It also procs Prowl on the models that have Prowl. So here I'm moving up my Swamp Gobbler Bellow crew to get just in a spot where I can clip that house and create a nice big line of no line of sight. And my plan for the beast, again, is just to try to be as either out of threat as possible, or if I have to be in threat, try to make myself as high defense as possible and make me hard to hit. So being behind the cover, for example, getting Typhon up, just moving him behind that cloud so that there's not really going to be anything that's going to be able to draw a bead on him. Just trying to prevent as much shooting this turn as possible. I put up excessive healing on Typhon just for kicks. Electroleaps do ignore that, but just on the off chance that a shot does come in, it gives me the ability to heal back D3 if I get damaged. And here, moving Zuriel up, I was definitely playing very very carefully with these models because the Storm Striders just threatened so far, so Zuriel didn't move up very far at all. Here I'm moving my Raptors to try to get in a spot behind that house so that they just don't get blown off the board by the Strider, because if he happened to feet, for example, or even if he didn't, just shooting, if he gets a beat on one and it E-leaps to the other guys, there's a good chance he's going to put a decent amount of damage on there. And just continuing to measure out my threat ranges here. My plan for the, that's the Mist Speaker that's running. His plan is to be as near as possible to Kralix as Kralix is moving up. Kralix does not have stealth, but he goes to, I believe he's base defense 15, so he goes to 17 in the concealment. He is running to try and get behind the forest to try and prevent being shot at, and his job was going to be solo hunting. So he has speed 6, range 12, poison bow, rate of fire 3. He's a high rat. And he also has arcing fire, which people will often forget. So he can shoot over other models, even a Colossal, provided the model behind it isn't within an inch. So this is me running my Hex Hunters. So it's very difficult when you're fighting against E-leaps to try and space out enough, particularly with, say, high defense, single wound infantry, trying to get them all outside of 4, because if my models are outside of 4, he can simply walk up one of his dudes, shoot his dude in the back, and bounce D3 times into my other models. So it's very, very difficult to prevent that. I wanted to try and keep at least a couple of the Hex Hunters safe, because if I can get a Hex Bolt on Dynamo, it actually prevents his multi-fire or quad fire, whatever it's called.
Multi-fire.
His 4-shot action, it prevents that. So my plan was going to be to hopefully have at least one of those alive. I'm only speed 6 with a range of 6 on that, and I was going to use the Ice Witches to try and make sure that they hit, because they are only a magic ability of 6. So that is me, and it's over to Chris to see how many things he can murderize with the 4-inch Electro Leaps.
So here I noticed that at the beginning there, I noticed that actually Dave did leave one of his models within 4 of the edge of the thing, because he did move over.
I measured it, and I had thought I was out, and then I must have moved back because I was trying to make sure.
You put the 2 dudes there, and you didn't measure 4 out, so then you moved it afterwards?
Yeah, I was planning to have him in not a spot where he could just E-leap through the house, which is dumb.
That is a dumb rule. I'm glad they're actually changing that.
I don't know why that works, but sprays through terrain doesn't. Like they almost need to standardize that a little bit. But I mean,
I do believe, I believe the house should be at a point, right?
Yeah.
So here I am trying to see if I can get somehow within 5 to get a line of sight onto his solo there. So I just go, nah, I'll just run up there, because I can't shoot much this turn anyways, because a lot of things went stealth, and he purposely left it out of things. So I just choose just to run up there, get some more tokens, get ready for next turn to start making the thing and to apply pressure. And by doing so, I actually leave it within 4, so one of my Fireflies may shoot it, and I make now kill.
Yep, you can kill Kralix, no problem, if you can get that E-leap on there. I was pleased to see that you're putting such a high value piece that far off to the flank and so far away from Nemo. You can see Nemo way down at the bottom of the screen by the other Strider. But sad times, because Kralix was hoping to do some things and shoot
and I knew Kralix had some things there.
Yeah.
So I said no, Kralix.
Yeah, Kralix prefers living models for the strength debuff, and also I've got 6 models with poison, but very few of his models are affected by poison. So no 3 dice damage for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, so here we are down here, just doing some measuring, because I know there's a lot of stuff is stealth, so I can actually get to a lot of it.
Yep, I tried to, wherever possible, I tried to keep things outside of walk and see me distance as much as possible, but again, with Electro Leaps and being able to just do it off your own stuff, it's very difficult.
So here we go, I go to start arcing off my own dude.
Is that the Lancer?
That is the Lancer.
Yeah.
Do you know who's not lightning immune? A Lancer.
Yeah. He did more damage to his Lancer than I did.
You didn't even touch my Lancer.
Yeah, I didn't have to. You were just killing it all game.
I did. So. Just wait. Stay tuned for feet turn.
Yeah. Yeah. So, did you already do the leap?
I did leaps off of that there, and I took out most of them.
Yeah.
So from here, I move up another, so I get ready to shoot another one in front of me. And I believe I moved the guy into there.
Yeah.
He's within 5, and I just blast him off the table.
Yep.
We are within 5. Happy, dice spike, boom.
Yep.
Goodbye.
There's lots of, it's hard to see on the, because these are the faction dice that Chris is rolling, but there was a lot of 4, 5s, and 6s.
These are lock and load dice.
Or lock and load dice.
Yes.
They're difficult to read, but there was lots of very, very high rolling. So.
And also because I'm rolling at the top of the screen.
Yes, that too. So we'll have Chris use casino dice next time.
Well, they're right up there at the top of the screen.
There you go. That doesn't help Chris.
But they're right there. So I go and I take out his leader and such, and I have one more left. And I'm like, well, that's one more model. So I figured, so I moved forward with, this is probably the big game changer right here. Give an evasive action to Dynamo and move Dynamo slightly move over. Just to get him out of the way. Then from here, I believe it is, what did I do to get rid of the last one?
Probably shot it with a Strider.
I probably shot it with a Strider.
I can't remember. Oh, I think you're outside. Oh, no, I did. I meant to leave him outside at 5.
There we go. 5, 5.
I was not
so
quite
you move
far
5
enough.
and then you're 5 out. So I said, yep, we're good there.
Mismeasurements there on my part. So,
and then we blasted it off the table. Because it's good.
Yep, so that was sad time. So that's my entire unit.
Nothing was in 4, so we just went, goodbye.
My entire unit of 7 Hex Hunters is gone, so I cannot deny Dynamo's super funky shot, which is sad.
Yeah, so from here I moved Nemo up to be a little more aggressive, but still safe. Move everything up and let Dave have a turn. Yeah,
being nestled in behind that forest is a nice place to be, outside a kill box and block line of sight with that huge base there as well. So here I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to be able to get to. So he has left Dynamo within 16 inches of Azrael. I want to try to get some damage on the Strider as well, but it's going to be... I'm just terrified of moving my beasts up, because I know on feet turn he can easily, if I've got them in the wrong spot, he can easily remove 2 beasts on his feet turn with all the shots that he's got.
And crippled by the 3rd.
Yeah, so I was trying to... It's this balance of trying to get work done versus not being completely shot off the board. I mean, Thagrosh's feat is great, but if you're down 2 beasts, it's not as great, because when you bring your beast back, all it can do is move. It cannot, does not get its combat action. So just confirming that you have, I think it's called, is it Magnetic Field?
Magnetic Field up.
So no knockdown, no pushes or slams or anything. So unfortunately, Azrael's glorious Pound 19 Spear is not going to be able to slam Dynamo back. So just measuring, I was sad that Kralix died up at the top, because he was going to try to get some work done. So trying to figure out what his buddy the Mistspeaker is going to do this turn, and going to try and put another cloud up in such a spot where I can move up as far as possible, but still hopefully protect my stuff, and place it in such a way that he can't step into the cloud with his Strider and just see through the cloud. So I'm also struggling to figure out what I'm going to do with my Raptors. I want to try to get Arlan dead. He's pretty much the only living model that's within range. The Raptors threat 21 inches with their speed 9 and range of 12. So so I believe I start with my smoke dudes, because I have to get them out of the way to try and clear a spot for the Raptors.
And he keeps it at 5, so I can't walk Strider in and then go.
And be just in the cloud anyway. Yeah, so they're moving up there, putting a 5-inch cloud down, so it's just clipping the corner of the house to prevent line of sight to that big area there. And here I'm proxying to figure out a couple of my Striders are boxed in behind Typhon, so I believe I end up getting 3
total
within range. He's def 12, but he's got armor. He's armor 16 with like 8 boxes.
8 boxes.
He's
deceptively.
He's Cygnar's beefiest dude. So
he's deceptively beefy.
Yes. So trying to get him dead, at least to deny the power boost, or it's called empower now, I guess.
Yes.
And also any chance of any repairing. I didn't want to put damage into Dynamo. My hope was to cripple something on Dynamo, and I didn't want him just walking up and repairing D3 plus 3 or whatever it is to put him back up to full after all the work that I did. So so moving the Raptors now, getting in spots where I can see Mr. Arlan, and I probably spent I just need to get faster with these types of movements and these placements. Spend a decent amount of time trying to get them in spots where I'm going to be able to see all 3 and be in range there. So move them up. Arlan is far enough that he's not in my fog of war, so he's just going to be his base def 12. So I roll, I think I miss on the first one. Yeah, I rolled like a 3 or something on the first one. I hit with the second one and do some damage, and then it's dice off of 6. And then with the third one that shoots that hit, I was able to take Arlan out. And now I'm just figuring out where I'm going to repo. I want to try to jam forward a bit to try to be in the way. Again, difficult when you're going to be dealing with things like electro leaps on the feet turn. But just shuffling around, making sure that I stay within command of my leader, and also spreading out to be outside of 4 as much as possible. Again, hard when the board starts getting jammed up like this, and he can just place his own models wherever he wants to bounce off of them. So reposition 1 up behind, kind of behind that house there to get at least more of a defensive bonus. And then the other one is moved up to engage the I believe that's a firefly right there by the house as well.
It is a firefly.
And I'm also being careful to make sure that I don't block my Azrael line of sight with my raptors to Dynamo. I want to make sure that I get a shot onto him. So. Here, I believe I'm just checking I'm not sure if I'm just double checking my rat to see what I'm going to have to do with Azrael. Just double checking to make sure. Oh, checking the Lancer behind the house there to see if Zuriel has any way to get like a spray on him or anything. It's kind of inconsequential because it's such low POW. And I move on to Typhon. I forgot, unfortunately, to do the witches first. I'd meant to do the witches first to get puppet strings up, or puppet master, I guess it's called, on Typhon, on my caster, and also on Azrael. But I forgot to do that, unfortunately. So move up with Typhon and start spraying down the Strider to try to get some damage there. I believe I can't remember if I missed one of them or not, but there was not a whole lot for.
You did 3 points there, 3 points damage, 1 point damage.
Yeah, so it was pretty sad, boosting all of the damages
except for 1.
Oh, except yes.
So last one I
was out for 1. So
because you wanted healing.
Yes, that's right. I wanted to excessive healing to make sure that I was.
Because you can see right here on the damage.
Yeah, gotcha. So. I should have puppet mastered so I could have gotten some more damage there because that was definitely subpar. And now I am just checking. I think I'm probably going to be moving on to Azrael.
It was me just confirming that you did put the final 5th thing after you put down the thing.
Yes. So double checking Azrael. Now I forgot that evasive action was on hit. I believe in Mark II, or before they revamped Arlan, it was if you're missed, you get to move. It was called.
No, it was always hit, but it was once per turn. Now it is.
I thought it was on a miss, other than a
or give it dodge. I think it was back.
Yeah, it's basically the equivalent.
And now
of
it's
dodge.
Basically if you get hit, you are allowed to move.
Yes, so I did not realize that. So I was expecting to get my 2 POW 19 shots on him. I was not going to be able to knock him down because of his magnetic.
But
field.
even dice +1, it's gonna hurt.
That was huge. So I wanted to try to cripple something on Dynamo.
Yeah.
That was
so here we go, a real big hit. And I was like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my lordy!
I did 11 damage or something.
Yep, it was like pass over to me.
Yeah, and then you're trying to figure out if you could go left or right to try to get out of the way, but there's no way to block line of sight. So in the end, you just decide to back up.
So I slide over right here, just seeing like that. I was like, oh wait, I can't do that. So I was back up.
Yeah. So that was sad. I was hoping to at least I crippled his movement, so that's something. But I was hoping to be able to take out his gun if at all possible. So
oh yes.
And there's my double ones. I shot at the Strider.
Yeah, that's right.
And miss. So the
Strider was happy.
Yeah, so that's pretty sad. Again, if I had puppet string, I would have been fine. So so mistakes were made. So we weren't we were fine because you weren't actually on fire. So we forgot. I missed. So
because we were thinking about but Dynamo was on fire.
Yes, Dynamo should have been on fire.
So we did forget about this at this point.
Yes.
Azrael's not something I've seen very often, so I actually didn't think.
Yes, he's got fire on all of his weapons. So so here I'm moving up my shepherds just to pull off some fury to make sure I don't have to worry too much on the next turn. Mr. Thagrosh is moving over to try and be outside basically not be able to get shot by both Striders, because that seems bad.
Yeah, Striders are a thing.
I believe I dropped some Fury.
You did. You dropped down to 2.
Yes, because I needed to make sure that my beasts were going to be fully functional on the following turn. And I believe that's the bulk.
That was the bulk of your turn. I think it was a couple little things here.
Oh, I put
little thing up here.
I put evasive on evasion on Zuriel so that he can move. I probably should have had Zuriel like up in behind that middle house, like just ran him to put him in such a spot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did. You ran him away from that.
I moved him just to get.
Yeah, but if you would have put him there, I would have had lots of fun.
Well, that's the thing. Then you would have had all 3 of my beasts in, because you could have moved far enough. You could have moved that Strider far enough over to get a beat on me. So,
and by that point there, I would have popped Nemo out of the behind that forest to get him within.
Yeah.
And then I take out both your beasts.
Yeah, well that's the thing. So it's because you could have moved that way to your left flank and then move your Strider to the right, and then your Strider on that far left.
Here comes the Spell Martyr.
Yeah. So Spell Martyr is just running just to kind of get in the way, make him kill something, so he can't necessarily move quite as far forward. Because I knew I wasn't going to really be throwing out much for spells in terms of where I needed to reach out to. So
here I am actually starting my turn here. So I've started to allocate now and starting my maintenance phase, just really starting to think, what am I going to do and how am I going to get the best work done on my feet. So here I get a free focus on Dynamo because Finn is within 8 of Dynamo. So here I just start allocating focus to where I know I'm going to need it.
Yep.
I know I have to blast off 2 Raptors off of my front 2 dudes just to get more work done. So here I am just planning it out, counting my focuses, making sure I have enough focus to at least put off 1 Chain Lightning.
Yep.
And just getting things ready.
Yep. And I think previously, I was hoping that I was going to be able to get range on your stuff while keeping my beasts behind the cloud, but alas, I didn't have quite the range to do that. So they are indeed seen by the rest of your army.
They are. So your 2 beasts, I can obviously see them. Though Fog of War is up, that does make them defense 15.
Yeah.
But walking 1 Strider forward, I negate that whole.
Yes, and Typhon, with where he is, he'll also be getting the cover bonus from, say, the Strider, for example, if the Strider doesn't move far enough forward. So I was just trying to maximize the defensive bonuses, since I knew it was going to have to be forward anyway.
Yeah, so at this point here, I think I'm still just trying to figure out the numbers, getting the numbers game worked out, checking the spell lists.
Yeah, double checking defense and armors and such. Just
so for when I get going, I can just crank right through my entire feat turn here. So here we go. Nemo goes. Nemo's going to cast his Chain Lightning.
Yeah. Oh, did you run your Lancer?
I ran my Lancer.
Okay.
So I'm going to blast at Azrael, because Azrael is the lowest armor that he has.
Yes.
And then this does his Electro Leaps into Typhon.
He's the lowest defense. He's defense 12. Goes to 14. So basically, by this point here, they make 7s, and it actually allows me to E-Leap into Typhon, and Typhon does not get excessive healing. That's correct. Yeah, excessive healing only procs on an attack.
So that's what I'm trying to do, is get as many E-Leaps as I can into him.
Yep, makes sense. Soften him up. It is dice off 8, or do you have a
I have a Firefly, not at this point. So it's dice off 8.
Dice off 8. So, but it's,
2 points, 2 points, 2 points.
It adds up with 1,000,000 Electro Leaps. So
yes, this is when static hair starts happening.
It's bad times for
sure. I believe here I also used Nemo and himself to shoot my own Strider to E-Leap and kill the other rider with engaging.
Right.
Because that's a thing.
Yeah, being able to shoot your own models and just bounce.
So here we are, just trying to decide where we're going to shoot at my own dudes and whatnot, who's going to get E-Leap to where.
Yep.
And then we realize, oh, crap. Lancer's in the way.
Yeah.
Lancer's going to get hit.
Leap into your Lancer. It was
with
great.
3 dice damage.
Yeah, that was glorious.
I was like, oh, well, whatever. Let's just shoot my own dudes.
Seems
good. The first one I continue on, I shoot my own dude just to get the damage in there.
And it was bouncing to your Lancer. I think you were looking for more than 1 bounce or something like that.
Yes, I was hoping for 2 bounces to get both of them cleared off, and then just continue normally.
Yeah.
That did not go as planned. I left it on 1 box, and then afterwards I shot my own Lancer in the back because that's funny.
Yes, and
because I'm going to hit it anyways. Might as well shoot it.
Yep, there you go. And the Lance has a shield, so it's got no shield bonus. So yeah, you were the moral victory was mine because you were whittling down that Lancer.
That Lancer, that's right. So I think here's where I decided I'm going. You know what? Just shoot my Lancer. It's a great time.
Yep. So at some point here, you figure, you have to get your at least one Firefly in close enough.
And that's exactly what I'm trying to do, is get that front Firefly to walk in and say, hey, POW 12s are a thing.
Yeah, you need to get them close enough to.
So here we go. I get all my dice all warmed up there, because you can't get 6s without warm dice.
There was a lot of very hot dice.
So we warm them up, and here we go. We shoot my own dude in the back.
Awkward silence ensues.
That's right. We're still waiting for me to do this move.
Yeah. Chris, you're the worst.
I am the worst.
Oh, here we go.
I did damage to myself first.
There you go.
Here we go.
So bouncing.
POW 12s.
I think you left one of them on.
No, I did kill both of this.
Oh, you did kill both of those guys.
So then I get to walk my dude up within 5.
Yep, within
here
5
we go.
to get the +2 for the electrical and the 2 beasts.
And with the Azrael just starts getting pummeled into.
Yep.
E-leaps for days.
Yep. Between the E-leaps and the main shots, there's stuff, and the bounces are going off of Azrael into Typhon and then back to the Shepherds.
And I've got both of them actually within 5, which allows for a lot more other fun things.
Yep. Yeah. So that was my Shepherd's gone from E-leaps. So the proxy base is just there just to prevent my Angel who is Azrael from falling over.
So here we go for the next one. I start moving up and such. And here we go. We got moving forward, and we say, shoot him again.
Yeah, and you're shooting.
Azrael.
Azrael, right? Yeah.
Trying to get around
Typhon was going to get that. Was going to get the cover bonus.
That's right.
Yeah. So there's been a fair amount of damage put on Azrael here. Oh yeah, you can see me adding it there. And I apologize.
That one was a 6/6/4 or something like that. It was nasty.
It was ridiculous. And I don't use War Room, so I was struggling with trying to see which things were offline when the damage went through. So I normally use cards. So.
Yeah. So here we go. Strider gets going. He's gonna move up, and he goes chugga chugga chugga. Goes up the full amount of focuses, and he's a happy boy.
Yep. Yep.
So I use the first one is to boost to hit because why not?
Yep.
Boom, we hit Azrael again because keep hitting Azrael.
Yep. Yeah. You want to focus down. Focus them down, remove, because chances are
so here we are with the POW 16, which is deals a POW 17 to dice off 1, and I just deal lots of damage.
Yep, it's good times. The Azrael and Typhon are both armor 18 unless Azrael is engaged. So dice off 1 is bad. So
yeah, and then this one here is a big roll itself.
Oh, I see at least 2 6s there.
It was 2 6 6 5 4 something like that. It was just nasty.
Yeah, so there goes Azrael.
Second shot I take it into Typhon, I believe it was.
And Typhon is I think he's pretty softened up at this point from the.
I think he's about a third of health.
Yeah, so
he's a third taken damage.
Yeah,
just 2/3 left.
Yeah, just from the E-leaps.
So we I like to boost to hit yours and then boost damage. I figure to hit is better than to miss.
Yeah, well, because I'm def 17, I should have been behind that wall.
You are, and I needed a solid what I think it was a 9, and I'm not rolling a 9. So we roll the damage.
And Typhon, we're doing the damage, and then these are direct damages, so it is proccing the excessive healing. So I think once I might have healed back 2 or 3.
The first one was 1.
Yeah.
Then it was 2, 3. Like it was always better than 1.
Yeah.
And at this point here, I think the clock is over on Dave, just because we are starting to run down on time, which is. And unfortunately, and then here we go. We move up within 10, and we start getting ready to.
Yep, here comes Mr. Dynamo with it. So I had crippled his movement with my spear shot. I had been hoping to cripple his gun, but he's fully functional. And there's at least one more 6 I saw.
Yep, this is my hit.
Yeah.
I boosted to hit this one, and I throw damage.
And he's got a thing if he misses, he rerolls with.
That's right.
Nemo, yeah, that's pretty sweet.
It is fun.
So the first one ends up being POW 14 with the
14. So then go 14, 15,
with the Firefly,
16, 17.
Right? Yeah. So it starts at POW 12 +2 for the Firefly. There's another 6.
Yeah. It's and then at this point here, I go to roll. I go roll hard because at this point here, I start throwing 4 dice for damage. Just trying to get as much damage as I can.
Yep. It's lots of damage. So because he gets up to for his second shot is POW 15, you said,
and then
third
my last shot I decide I'm gonna boost to hit because he's at 1 box. Sorry, 5 boxes.
Yep. So both Azrael and Typhon have been removed at this point.
Here I just get rid of the Spell Martyr, just get rid of any angles he may have trying to come around the corner.
Yep.
So we just stomp it. And then I realize I can't shoot nothing, so we just I think we fast turn at this point and say...
The Mist Speaker is there, but he's got stealth because he's in his cloud bubble. So this is me trying to figure out, I know I'm down on attrition quite a bit. I know this is going to have to be feat turn to try to start getting back up. I need to also make sure that Thagrosh stays safe because he is basically in range of both of the Striders. So my plan is to move over behind the house as much as possible. Poop out the beast behind the house so that he's hidden and available for the following turn because he cannot, he doesn't get a combat action. I think this is also a turn where I forgot Puppet Master, so that was good time. So the Firefly was in range of Zuriel, so I was going to try to get up there, get some damage on the Firefly, and also get Zuriel in a place where he's going to be getting the cover bonus for the house. So just trying to keep the defense up as high as possible, and hopefully also have elusive, I think it's called, on him to give him dodge.
Yes.
And that way, if something does happen to miss, I can potentially move out of the way. So upkeep Fog of War all game because it's good to do that. So move just to the corner of the house there to try and get to the cover bonus for the house. Poop out Azrael. I elected to go Azrael because I liked the high damage of the range, and I also liked being able to fly over the house. So Typhon's also a really good choice, but then he would have been stuck somewhere where he's
I would have been so happy he picked Typhon.
It's going to be hard for him to get up there. Yeah,
because I would have walked to the side of the house and played around the house all day.
Yeah, so I definitely think Azrael was the right choice. I put Draconic Blessing on the remaining Raptor, trying as much as I can to get rid of that Strider. So the Raptor charges in, impact attack. I don't think impact attack did anything.
I think it did one or if at best. Like it wasn't much.
It's only POW 12 anyway. So because it does not, the impact attack.
But you left me on 9 at this point. When you did your melee, it was left me on 9, and it actually bumped you out of melee with me altogether. So it was.
And in hindsight, I probably should have just done the charge attack, and that way you at least would have still been in melee. So I think I also had looked at doing, or did I do an obliteration? I think I might have done an obliteration too. I can't remember if that was this turn or not.
You, I think, tried to do an obliteration. Oh, on my on your Firefly there, I believe it was. Because Thagrosh couldn't. Although.
Because he was in within 10. I think it was on the Strider.
Yes, I think I
was trying to get the Strider dead, but I had forgotten to move the Witches first to give myself the Puppet Master, which would have helped because then I could have potentially re-rolled for the obliteration. Just trying to remove that Strider if at all possible. So
here you are. You do remember your Witches this time.
Yes. So the Witches are shooting at the Firefly just to try to drop. I think 2 of them did the Ice Cage just to try to drop the defense of the Firefly just in case. I think they both missed.
6. You rolled 6. You need 7s.
Yeah. Well, 6s but you're in my concealment, so you were 15 or something.
Yes.
So I needed 9s I think to hit.
Sorry, I thought you needed 7s.
No, I did Puppet Master on on Zuriel just to make sure if he happened to miss one or something that I'd be good to go. I elected not to combo strike because this is straight dice, so I spent 1 for the charge. Zuriel's very high mat. And so and then we forgot that he's got assault, so here I am assaulting. Doesn't end up mattering because I think I missed both shots anyway.
You missed both on both.
So I did that. So I'm doing my straight dice damage to the Firefly, and after I think I bought 2 attacks and then did...
I think it took you 2 more after that to do it.
Yeah, I had enough to put elusive on him afterwards. So
because I never you left him at 2, and you had next turn when you had to go forward and attack.
And I also, not that it mattered for this one, but I forgot that Zuriel does have precision strike. I did outright kill the beast, but that's something to remember for the future. And I believe that was it for my turn, and it's over to you.
So I look at my turn here, and I go, well. Dave's down to, I think, a minute or 50 seconds.
Yeah, we're both very low on clock because you were very low as well. You were up on me by a couple of minutes, I think, but it was...
At this point here, I think I was up by quite a few minutes in this one here. I just started doing things I probably shouldn't have done. What I should have done is just move forward, put my Lancer in there, knocked your beast out, score it again. And force the 3-4 position because I can take out that one thing there and force you to have to deal with that situation.
Yeah.
And basically say, I'm at 4, you're at 0, I need to score 1 more time.
Yeah.
And force that scenario. But I didn't.
Yeah,
Story of our lives.
because if Nemo had moved up, he could have. Oh no, my raptor was still in. Yeah,
I would have killed it.
Yeah,
because I would have hit my own thing and then leaped into it.
Because you could have gone potentially to 3 this turn, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nope. So. I had 1 before. Yeah, I can go 2, 3. Yeah, I go 3.
Yeah, and I'm at 0. I have no way to score at this point because there's just too much in the zones. You moved your Strider over.
I moved the Strider over to get melee damage.
You're shooting at Zuriel to make sure he doesn't get the house benefit. So you hit him even with my my concealment. And
looking back, I should have left that lady alone.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Nemo should have dealt with her, and then I should have just kept within 10.
With her, you mean him? You're talking about Zuriel?
No, with your little chickie that's down at the bottom.
Oh, right. Oh, the raptor. Gotcha. Yeah,
I stomped the raptor off.
Yeah. Oh, that's why you moved that way. Right. Gotcha.
So then I miss, and at this point here, I can do E-leaps through the building if I want. And I'm like, well, my Lancer has taken a lot of damage. It's not hit the Lancer too many times. So I said I'd like to walk a Firefly up, and I'm just going to arc off my own Firefly.
Yep.
They're electrically immune. They're okay.
Oh, and I had moved my Mist-Speaker up and plopped a smoke there to try to block line of sight to Zuriel from the top Strider. So I think at this point, you're just trying to get as many beads as possible in Zuriel, I think. With the one Firefly there.
E-leap.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think are you E-leaping off your
I am.
dude? Oh, okay.
Because you're too high of a defense.
I'm def 17 or something right now. So, and there goes Mr. Dynamo. I think he was able to move. Was he able to move far enough to not get the house?
No.
No.
So, I think maybe he did. Either way, I missed.
Oh yeah, you missed, and I moved forward.
And what I did at this point here, I noticed. So you're at like 5 minutes, I think it was, at this point here. And what I did is I put Dynamo forward because I knew I was going to draw you into combat, and I knew you couldn't resist.
Well, I had to kill Dynamo. If I leave Dynamo alone, then I'm booched.
And at this point here, I'm just throwing things at him. I bring my sidekick thing over, Def 15. Come at me if you really want to.
No, I knew Dynamo was definitely going to be the target because I had already hurt him a bit. His movement was offline, so hitting wasn't going to be an issue. So yeah, I think this is the point where I was down pretty low. I can't see what you were at, but I think you were only at like 3 minutes or something too. So
5 minutes, I think. At this point.
5? Okay.
I think I'm always ending right around the time that you were at. I think
gotcha. Okay. And so having a look here, I should have moved a bit faster, but just trying to see what I'm going to be able to take out.
So here you're trying to go for an obliteration.
Oh, okay.
This is where you go for the obliteration. Last time you didn't go for the obliteration.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Here you hit my Strider with the obliteration, hoping just to kill it.
Right.
But it doesn't work.
Right. Gotcha. Well, it's dice off 6, so and you've still got several boxes left. So I know I'm going to kill it with Zuriel. That's the plan, or not Zuriel, Azrael, and that's also going to put Azrael in a spot where he's very close to Nemo, and it starts making Nemo. Oh, and this wasn't the super low turn. That was the next turn.
That's next turn.
Yes.
This one here, you still have 5 minutes left, but you run yourself down to 50 seconds.
Yeah. So it should have gone faster. It should have got the puppet strings out. I believe I actually remembered to do it this time to make sure Zuriel was going to be able to kill Dynamo and make sure that the Strider died. I think I put puppet strings on Thagrosh as well so that I could get the reroll on the damage if need be. So here comes Azrael. Charges in. He's POW 19 because he does have. I did put Draconic Blessing on him, and he manages to take out that Strider finally after a fair number of shots being soaked up and things. Here comes Zuriel. I believe I just walked in. I didn't bother charging. Walked in. I opt not to combo smite because it's only dice off 2. I rolled really, really bad, and I was starting to get concerned because for my damage. That one wasn't bad. I was dice off 2, so I was starting to get a bit worried, I believe, with some of the damage rolls. I did manage to take him out, though, and I put, I believe, Elusive back up on him just to make sure that he was going to be safe if it came down to it, and I think that was it for me, and that's over to you.
Yeah, so here, once again, I have Azrael really, really close. And basically at this point here, I wanted to do a Force Hammer, and just say, you have 50 seconds left, have fun.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I look back and I'm like, this is going to get dodgy if I try doing that. So the first thing I do is I walk away my Firefly.
Oh, yes, and I rolled trip 1, so that was pretty great.
Yep, trip 1's for damage, so you deal 1 point of damage. I was like, get there.
Yep.
So here I go and I shoot Azrael for some reason.
You shot Azrael or you shot Zuriel?
I don't know it. They're both the same.
I think you're shooting Zuriel, the guy behind the house. I think.
No, bottom down.
Oh, bottom down. Okay,
yeah, I was shooting the bottom guy.
Gotcha.
Azrael, Zuriel, they're all the same.
All the Uriels.
Either way, they've both been killed.
Yes. I think I must have moved there. It looked like the model shifted, so I'm not sure if I did an elusive move or something.
It could have been. No, Force Hammer.
Right. That was the Force Hammer. You only rolled an inch, but I am knocked down, and he does not have.
Here I go. I move a bunch
Serpentine
of models, and I say, you got 50 seconds, make it count.
Yep. And if I had seen this on my turn, I think I could have made this happen, because I was looking at, okay, can I shoot Nemo? But what I should have done was I should have puppet stringed Azrael, and I should have just charged the, you can see where the Squire is, and killed the Squire, and then I would have been within 2 inches of Nemo, and Nemo only has 2 focus on him, so that would mean I've got my full stack to use on Azrael and a puppet strings, so pretty much guaranteed Nemo's going to die, and if for some reason he didn't die, he would have also been on fire, so giving him a chance to potentially die on the following turn. So I should have seen that. I think I would have had, if I had seen that right away, I think I probably would have had enough time to get that done and pull out the win. But alas, it's I need more practice with this list. Yeah, so you can see me moving now. We're just talking about
the assassination angle. I saw it right after I let my turn go.
Yeah.
Had it been proper, I should have moved Squire back.
Yes.
Forced it so you couldn't get to me.
Yes. If you had moved Squire, if he was any farther back, you would have missed on the Force Hammer. Not that it mattered.
Well, I mean, use the thing, because Squire can move after Nemo, right? So Squire could run away at that point.
Right. Oh, I see.
Because I don't need the control area at that point.
Yeah, that's right. So, so if I had noticed that, that could have potentially pulled out the win. I probably should have also had at least one of my flying beasts down in behind the house at the bottom left flank, because that would have allowed me to be more or less safe other than the Electro Leaps, and then I could still charge his Storm Strider, that sort of thing. So I definitely needed to be using terrain more to my advantage, and also maybe not being quite as cautious with my models, but there's that kind of fine line between being safe and just moving up and just getting completely blown off the board. Well, I lost 2 beasts on the feet turn, and if my other beast had been far enough up, he probably would have been at least half crippled as well. So
another thing too is also noting that you should have focus fired.
Yes.
You tried spreading.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered, because on the shot that didn't go on, I rolled a double ones on the Strider anyway. The Strider wouldn't have been dead.
You never know.
But yes, I probably I think I was focused on putting Dynamo out of commission, and potentially if I had put the second shot from Azrael into the Storm Strider, it could have potentially killed it. But it was a good game. Went kind of how I expected it, but it was good practice, and I will continue practicing with some Legion. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. Thanks, guys.